Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, an arrest in a vandalism case at the UF Chabad Center. We're live at the center where police say he did more than write hate-filled messages.
And an Alachua County man files his candidacy for sheriff, why his background may make him ineligible for office.
Also, the loss of a federal grant could change the way a local organization provides services to those in need.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
A Gainesville man is in jail tonight charged with vandalizing the Chabad Jewish Center at the University of Florida. This is First at 5. I'm Sarah Hauer.
And I'm Kennedy Chambers. On Monday, we showed you these images of the hate speech written on the sign of the center. It's part of a string of anti-Semitic acts since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. Earlier today, the Gainesville Police Department announced the suspect's arrest. WUFT's Sarah Sowers is live at the Jewish Center. Sarah, police say the suspect also left a threatening voicemail.
This act of vandalism is not the first of its kind, targeting the Jewish community here in Gainesville. Signs like this one have been cleaned and replaced since the incident last week. 50-year-old Joffrey Allen Lush had his first appearance in court earlier today. In early morning on November 24th, surveillance video from Chabad showed a man in a trench coat damaging signs, banners, and the sidewalk with hate speech. The night before the vandalism, University of Florida Hillel received a threatening voicemail that may be linked to this crime. Chabad Rabbi Aaron Notik says the community is resilient in the face of hate.
So I believe that real change begins with small acts. We try to focus on the positive, right, where we speak about adding in positivity and light, especially now where it's less than a week from the holiday of Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights.
And ahead of Hanukkah next week, Notik asks that everyone participate in good deeds to counteract this bad deed. Reporting live from the Chabad Center in Gainesville, Sarah Sowers, WUFT News.
A candidate's felony record puts his eligibility for Alachua County Sheriff in question. Tyrone Randy Johnson Jr. is one of 4 Democrats running against Republican incumbent Emory Gainey. He was convicted in October 2016 on a felony charge for acting as a bond agent without a license. Johnson hasn't completed Florida's process to restore his civil rights after his imprisonment. That step is required under state law for a felon to hold public office. He said he requested clemency but hasn't heard back from the clemency board. Elections lawyer Leonard Collins says Johnson doesn't qualify.
It's not just that you submit the form, but also that the officials ensure that the information in the form is correct. Otherwise, people would submit forms, have incorrect information, and then somehow qualify when they're not qualified or shouldn't be qualified.
The primary election is August 20th and the general election is November 5th. You can read the full story on WUFT.org.
Gainesville residents, be prepared to save on your utilities as Gainesville Regional Utilities is reducing its rates. Starting today, a 1,000 kilowatt hour will cost you $5 a month. That is a decline in your bill from about $36 from last December, according to GRU. If you're a natural gas customer, GRU says you will be saving 75 cents. The decision came after the current lower and projected natural gas prices, according to officials. GRU says this is the 4th time it has lowered its fuel adjustment in 2023.
Peaceful Paths, a domestic violence center, has lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding and more money is on the chopping block. WUFT's Juan Carlos Chowie is live in the newsroom. Juan, the organization is set to lose nearly $1 million.
Peaceful Paths is an organization that helps victims of domestic violence. According to FloridaHealthCharts.gov, the rate of domestic violence offenses was 286.3 for every 100,000 people here in Alachua County in 2022. These victims need help, but recent budget cuts have strictly limited organizations like Peaceful Paths in their services.
It's really hard.
Since 1974, Peaceful Paths has been fulfilling its mission to save lives and create change with the help of federal funding.
One of the biggest pots of money that we are very fortunate to have been receiving for the last many years is our Victims of Crime Act Fund.
The Victims of Crime Act Fund takes money from federal courts and fines and provides that to domestic violence centers across the state. Dr. Teresa Beachy, the executive director of Peaceful Paths, says that this fund accounted for 40% of Peaceful Paths' budget, but the situation has changed.
And unfortunately, due to some policy changes at the federal level, slowdowns in prosecutions, and then of course the pandemic, we had a major change in how much the fund was actually collecting and therefore what was available for distribution.
To the tune of $500,000 this year and an additional $400,000 next year. That significant reduction in funding means less services, such as trauma counseling.
I work with the families at Peaceful Paths when someone comes in for services, maybe the adults meeting with the adult advocates, having a really difficult conversation. And so a lot of times that involves referrals to trauma counseling.
Crystal Sorrow, the Director of Education, says it's not enough support.
So at this point, we can still provide some, which is better than nothing, but it doesn't allow us to expand that when the family really needs it.
However, Peaceful Paths is not sitting still.
The organization is hosting a Fill the Gap fundraiser as a way to compensate for the losses from the federal budget cuts. Dr. Beachy stated that everyone comes in with different needs, and she wants to always be able to say, how can we work this out for you? Live in the studio, Juan Carlos Chowie, WUFT News.
We're warming up after a cold last few days, but another cold front is around the corner.
WUFT's Julia Haley is tracking the next drop in temperatures.
Starting to get a preview of what that cold front will bring as we have some clouds outside of Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. 78 degrees, which is above average for this time of year and even for December 1st. Those clouds and those showers starting around the panhandle and moving eastward, giving us a small chance for some isolated and scattered showers tonight. But overall, as of right now, really just seeing those more clear skies toward our area. Cloudy though, but no precipitation. Temperatures sitting in the 70s and the 80s. Dropping down throughout the evening, 79 Gainesville, 80 Ocala, and tonight, starting with those clouds and ending with even more clouds, a chance for fog for your morning, and we'll talk more about rain.
A new operation strives to protect you and your business from organized retail theft in Alachua County. The Operation November Blitz looked to charge suspects of retail theft, according to the Alachua County Sheriff's Office. ACSO partnered with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and loss prevention officers for the two-day operation. Detectives went to places such as Oaks Mall, Celebration Point, and Butler Plaza dressed as normal citizens. Officials say the partnership allowed them to see connections for statewide retail theft with local ones. Agents completed the operation with 16 people charged and 3 arrested. The arrests were linked to a retail theft at a Nike store in Columbia County.
For the first time in more than 3 decades, Gainesville will host its holiday parade, and they had to have some help to make it happen. WUFT's Eva Garcia is live in the studio with what people can expect tomorrow.
For the first time in 33 years, Gainesville neighbors will enjoy a holiday parade. The route has been revealed and the city says it's ready. This fun-filled event brings local families and businesses together with a multitude of activities. The parade starts at noon on West 6th Street and finishes up at 620 East University Avenue. The festivities don't just end there. At 3 p.m., a dance party will take place for kids at the Bo Diddley Plaza. The celebration continues in the Thomas Center Gardens with the horse-drawn carriage rides provided by the Duck Pond neighborhood. For those that cannot attend but would like to be a part of the holiday fun, the city will stream the parade on Facebook for everyone to enjoy. Live in the newsroom, Eva Garcia, WUFT News.
Coming up on WUFT News, first at 5, we tell you how Marion County Public Schools are seeking to solve their staffing shortage.
And it's Rosa Parks Day, how the community is celebrating her legacy when we come back.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Marion County schools are holding a career fair to help with their staffing shortages. You can apply to be a teacher, bus driver, food service provider, or Marion after-school program team member. MCPS encourages applicants to bring a resume and dress well for an interview with the school principals and district administrators. The fair starts at 4 and will end at 6 tonight. If you have any questions, call the Employment Services Office of MCPS.
Tens of thousands of pounds of non-perishable food, baby, and personal hygiene items were collected today for Marion County's Bring the Harvest Home food drive. Handfuls of food and hygiene products were loaded off into trucks to be donated at the Ocala Downtown Square. Dogs were also available for adoption from Marion County Animal Services. The food drive started this morning and ended at 1 p.m. All donations help local food banks, the Salvation Army, Interfaith, Emergency Services, and Brothers Keeper, according to Marion County.
Cold front is pushing through, giving us those showers for your weekend and also some cooler temperatures. I'll let you know when we reach the 60s once again on the other side of the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Showers moving eastward and continuing to bubble up along the panhandle as we're seeing those cloudy skies overall. But here in Gainesville, really just seeing cloudy skies for our evening and a chance for some isolated showers. Temperatures sitting in the 70s, 76 Gainesville and 77 for Stark. A little bit warmer, 80 for Ocala. And this is an increase from what we saw yesterday, as we did get just a little bit warmer, but actually a lot warmer here in Gainesville. 11 degrees Gainesville and even a 13-degree increase for Ocala, 14 degrees for Palatka. So definitely warmer from what we saw, especially for December 1st. You would think that we would have those cooler temperatures, but of course we do have those warmer temperatures. You can see those cloudy skies rolling through, a little preview of what we saw over in the panhandle. So those clouds are going to continue to build up. We'll have those overcast skies for your evening and a chance for some scattered to isolated showers. Lows are going to stay in the lower 60s for your morning, with a chance for some fog bubbling up. And this fog is especially going to bubble up near the East Coast and around interior Florida throughout your morning. So you definitely want to watch out for that fog, turn on your headlights, and make sure that you stay safe. Now, the 2023 holiday parade is on Saturday, and we'll see those cloudy skies, overcast skies for your Saturday. Staying cloudy and warm though, with those highs sitting in the low 80s. So you won't need sunglasses, but you do want to stay hydrated, especially if you are participating in that parade. Definitely drink some water and make sure to stay safe during the event. We will see some more showers, especially along I-10 for your Saturday, starting to move out for Saturday as well. Clouds for your Saturday afternoon, and those clouds are going to stay. Temperatures sitting in the 70s and the 80s. Another round of showers starting to move as this cold front starts to pick up by Sunday afternoon. Chance for some showers, especially around Gainesville, and then we'll see that cold front move out and temperatures even will dip as we are seeing that cooling trend throughout the week. Chance for some showers on Sunday and then dropping, even returning back into the 60s and lows with the 40s.
Today marks the 60th year since Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a Montgomery, Alabama bus, sparking the Montgomery bus boycott. Since then, Parks has been widely celebrated for her courage, including right here in Gainesville.
WUFT's Lauren Miranda went to the Rosa Parks Day event and talked with the people celebrating her legacy.
The Rosa Parks Quiet Courage Committee honored her legacy on the 68th anniversary of her silent protest. The theme of the day, keep up the fight.
What Rosa Parks stood for, to make a way for me and others to be able to have the freedoms that we often take for granted. We have to continue to have courage and not let the haters speak for us.
Just outside the Rosa Parks transfer station, Reverend Milford Greiner opened the ceremony with a prayer. He thanked the committee for 18 years of dedication. The NAACP Alachua County and the MLK Junior Commission also attended the service.
This common ground where all of Gainesville comes and goes is a constant reminder to display the quiet courage that its namesake stood for, or rather, stayed seated for.
Prayer, hymns, and words of encouragement guided the ceremony. Then, Mayor Harvey Ward declared December 1st as Rosa Parks Day. And to the Reverend's surprise, the mayor duly declared December 1st as Reverend Milford Greiner Day, honoring his 40 years of service.
All kinds of reasons people get into politics, and you see a few here and there who are strictly about service and who will make the right vote at any time, no matter what the impact on their future generation. We need more of those.
Across Florida, counties have banned books about Parks' legacy. Some omit her race. In Gainesville, leaders hope no one feels like a second-class citizen ever again. Lauren Miranda, WUFT News.
Coming up in sports, we'll preview Gator Volleyball's matchup against Georgia Tech in the O-Dome tonight. It's the third round of the NCAA tournament, and this Gators team looked great in their latest win over FGCU. All that and more when we return from the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Daniel Haviv. The Florida high school football playoffs are quickly coming to an end. The Buchholz Bobcats are still undefeated and have a chance to advance to the state championship with a win tonight. WUFT's Emilio Boutros is live at Citizens Field to preview the team's matchup against Lakeland.
With what's been a dominant season all year, the Buchholz Bobcats face off against their toughest challenge yet, the defending state champs, the Lakeland Dreadnoughts. Buchholz is characterized by their dominant offense through the air and on the ground that's helped the Bobcats reach an undefeated 13-0 record. They're led by Thunder and Lightning running back committee that sees Quentin Culler and Gator football commit Miles Graham have combined for a total of 32 touchdowns in 13 games. Not only is Miles Graham getting it done on the offensive side of the ball, he's been balling on the defense too, with 59 tackles, 3 sacks, and 1 interception. He's not the only contributor though, as they've had a two-headed monster coming off the edge with Thomas Weinhardt and Matthew Cade. In the visitors' corner, the Lakeland Dreadnoughts have been on a tear, winning their last 9 matches by 21 points or more this season. Strong performances on both sides of the ball elevated the Dreadnoughts to a 10-3 record. Despite this, Buchholz is staying the course.
What we've been saying all week is to be the man, you got to beat the man. We're excited about the challenge. We're excited to have them coming up to Citizens Field. It's rarely does Lakeland have to leave their home confines for a playoff game. So we like the idea of getting to play them at our place, and we're gonna have to play our best ball game to beat them.
This sets a tone for tonight's game on the Buchholz side of the field. Reminder, the winner of this game will face off against the winner of the Land versus Venice in the state championship in Tallahassee. Live from Citizens Field, Emilio Boutros, WFT News.
Staying in the realm of high school football, the Bradford Tornadoes are also undefeated and have a chance to punch their ticket to Tallahassee tonight. WFT's Alexis Vivanco looked into the team's path to success this season.
And then there were 4. The Bradford Tornadoes have managed to seize their moment all season. And with the state championships on the horizon, their final push begins now.
But we've gotten better and better each week, especially on the offensive side of the ball, from where we've come week 1 on offense when we played Baker in week 1.
Bradford's drive comes from one goal: redemption.
For them, they know we lost in this round last year. So I think we're going to get an incredible effort by our guys. I know Pensacola Catholic's going to play hard. I think we're going to get an incredible effort on our guys. It should be a lot of fun.
Hot off a dominant 43-0 win against Baker County, Bradford will plan to use this momentum against Pensacola Catholic and try to punch their ticket to the state championship. Kickoff is right here, 2 hours away. Reporting for Bradford High School, Alexis Vivanco, WFT News.
For some other local playoff matchups, last night Hawthorne took care of business and shut out Blountstown 49-0 to advance to the 1R state championship game. 2 more state championship qualifiers will be played tonight. Vanguard heads to Mainland, and Trinity Catholic will clash with First Baptist Academy. Both games are set to kick off at 7:30 p.m. The Gators volleyball team won their first game of the NCAA tournament in dominant fashion. WFT's Jamie Goldman is live at the O-Dome just hours before Florida hosts Georgia Tech.
I'm here live in front of the O-Dome where in just under 2 hours, Florida Gators volleyball will host the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets with a trip to the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament on the line. In last night's matchup, Florida took care of business, defeating the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles in straight sets. Kennedy Martin led the way for the Gators, adding 14 kills and 11 digs. Sophia Victoria added 11 kills of her own. On the other side, Georgia Tech defeated South Alabama in 4 sets last night to force this matchup tonight against the Gators. Live from the O-Dome, Jamie Goldman, WFT News.
One last note, Gators men's and women's swim and dive are competing in the 2023 U.S. Open today and throughout the weekend. The event is officially approved by World Aquatics as a qualifying event for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games.
Well, the Gators better swim fast.
And hopefully the water is not too cold for them. But before we go, one last check on the weather. Julia?
Well, luckily, we'll get to see the heat for just a little bit longer. And if you're thinking of enjoying some of the holiday spirit, you can head out to that 2023 holiday parade in Gainesville with those highs sitting in the low 80s, cloudy skies overall. But we'll see a dip in temperature throughout this week, rising and lowering into the 60s.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.